All right, folks, we are back. We're live on location. Thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast this evening. This is Taste of St. Croix, the 20th anniversary. That's right, folks, we're celebrating 2 decades of awesome, just incredible in terms of a culinary experience, great food, great wine, great people, great music, and you can't beat a better island than St. Croix, where for the past 20 years, this man that I'm sitting right next to was the one of the founder creator of the Taste of St. Croix, and I'm honored and privileged to be able to have partnered with you, Colin, on this great initiative. Not even the pandemic can stop us from doing what we need to do and showcasing St. Croix as a culinary vacation destination. Congratulations on your 20th anniversary, and I'm hoping that you can continue to do many, many more. Welcome to the Caribbean Food Network. And so, how are you doing today, man?
Good evening, Tony. Good evening, listening audience. It's indeed a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Post-pandemic, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a challenging time, but like we just said, we have 20 years to build on. So hopefully we have that strong foundation in terms of a destination and at least the culinary scene. And I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, obviously, there's always the genesis, the beginning, and the learning curve, the growing pains. I mean, what was it like to be able to create something and then to really just stick to 20 years of just grinding this thing? Give us some background as to what it really went into really creating this in over a 20-year period.
I'm going to start from the end, because last night was indeed, and even tonight, and I want to thank the Buccaneer and everybody that's here supporting and assisting. I want to thank the Buccaneer because we're here tonight. This is an example. But I want to go back to last night, the hallmark.
The sponsors. Let's not forget the sponsors, right?
Yes.
We're thanking the Buccaneer, and this is something different because you usually do one day, one hotel. It's a little bit different, right? We have some other hotels, and then, of course, we need to talk about our sponsors, right?
Yes, of course. And I'll do that by summarizing that the 20-year, which climaxed last night, was indeed us saying thank you to key partners, because the restaurants, as we all know, are going through some hard times. And last night was saying thank you to them in terms of making that milestone and shifting from sharing the platform and fundraising to saying thank you and showcasing them to the world. So that was the new focus that the pandemic has brought us. It was challenging trying to create the same event while going through a pandemic, challenging while trying to ask the restaurants to do something when that industry, are going through the times that they are. So I want to thank them first of all, because last night's 20-year anniversary celebration virtually was about them showcasing the island, showcasing what they have, showcasing the talent in terms of culinary scene, right, and exactly, highlighting when you come here next year, this is what we have. These are the entities and the type of menus and the type of food that St. Croix has to offer. So in terms of introducing partners, I want to thank the restaurants last night and all the hundreds of restaurants that made us make 20.
And who are some of the other?
In terms of the sponsors, no, because there was no doubt. There was no doubt. Major partners, of course, not only from a investment perspective, but in terms of supporting 20 years.
And speaking of partners, right? This is one of the title partners of the event.
Yes, Department of Tourism, the government of the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
Office of the Governor. I really want to thank them. The Office of the USBI Department of Tourism, our key sponsor in terms of supporting us for the last 12, 13 years, I must say. If they don't say yes, we can't say yes. So I want to thank them, because when you do a virtual event, you have to have the partner, because it's no longer a fundraiser. So if they didn't say yes, there's no way we could have afforded to partner with the restaurants and make this happen and take St. Croix and the territory to the world. So I want to thank the Department of Tourism, the government of the Virgin Islands, Office of the Governor, and of course, CaribbeanTVNetwork.com. I want to thank, of course, Team Consultant LLC, the RT Park, huge investor in the Virgin Islands and in this year's event. Subway. I want to thank, of course, Leeward Island Management. I mean, Richard Berry, Peter Marcelin, and of course the whole team of West Indies, Bellows, Prestige, and our whole group who are here tonight and always they support us whether we do a small event or a big event, and they have been a major partner over the years. Of course, I want to thank Tropical Shipping, the Department of Agriculture, Banco Popular, and all of the other sponsors, and those who didn't even sponsor this year's event but have been a partner over the years. So yes, Department of Tourism, thank you very much.
And before you make a comment, also this live streaming event would not be possible without the partnership and the support of Broadband VI. I want to thank our good friends at Broadband VI for partnering with us to make it possible to bring this event live. And so there are partners on the 3 events. The one last night at Divi Hotel and Casino, the one tonight at the Buccaneer Hotel, and tomorrow at the Fred as well. And so I want to say big up, thank you to Broadband for stepping up and partnering with us to bring this event live in the live stream. Thank you so much. So tourism, 20 years of celebrating just incredible food, a culture, people. I mean, 20 years, that's a long time to be a partner with something. I mean, tell us a little bit about the importance as to why, you stick to each year supporting and partnering with the Taste of St. Croix.
Because each year it gets better. And at the end of the day, we are here to celebrate our food and our culture. And this year, yes, it has been a lot different, especially due to COVID. But I'm so happy that we went ahead and promoted this event on behalf of my commissioner, Joseph Bisholti, Assistant Commissioner Alani Henneman-Todman, Elizabeth Walkley. We really appreciate you, Colin, for going ahead and giving us exactly a taste, which is a perfect taste of what's hopefully going to be bigger and better next year as we come out of this coronavirus pandemic. But I want to say thank you to everyone, like you said, who supported us, because at the end of the day, these events, it's for us. It's for us to enjoy, and there's nothing better for us than our food and our culture and friends that we haven't met yet.
How has, and this is a question for both of you, right? A question for both of you guys. How has the pandemic changed the trajectory of what you've done in the past and made it successful? And has it changed the product? What is there going to be anything different, or are you going to continue doing what you've done for 20 years? Let me start with him and then back over.
I would answer this. It's a combination of things, because not only did we have the pandemic, but we also had 2 hurricanes, and right. So do remember that because of Irma and Maria, we had to change our venue for 2 years. Right. But guess what? The quality of the event, the conversation, the partnership, the camaraderie, and selling the destination still existed. So I just want to thank the rest, again, the partners, because our host venue that was around for 17 years, as we all the world may not know, got destroyed, and they're about to reopen any day now, but they have not been available for the last 3 years. So I want to thank the ability for our island and our partners to be able to stand firm to still sell the product that is Taste of St. Croix, and that is St. Croix and the territory. So in saying that, 3 years later, we had a pandemic. We had to, of course, reshuffle. So we normally do the Taste of St. Croix, which is a 501(c) corporation, as a fundraiser. Not only do we sell the island and our culinary scene, but we also give back thousands of dollars to different organizations over the years. We've literally given away almost $1 million in the last 20 years to different organizations and different initiatives. Almost $1 million. Wow, yes, in our existence, and indirectly a lot more. Because the week of Taste of St. Croix, we literally generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in the economy of St. Croix in terms of the events, shopping, and spending that occurs in the economy when the Taste of St. Croix happens. So there's many different trajectories that happens when the event happens. But going back to your original question, the pandemic has changed us because the delivery this year was different, and the plan for the future is still in progress. We don't know what the gathering requirements are going to be locally and internationally and worldwide from the CDC. We don't know what the rules are going to be coming up. So as a planner for the last 30 years in terms of promotion, and as a restaurateur and a person that's in marketing, I'm always trying to understand what's going to happen in the economy every day. But what has just happened has opened my eye. I lost one of my 3 businesses in the last 12 months.
Really?
Of course, Martini's Lounge has had to close because of the pandemic, because we're literally not able to open. Now, in terms of where Taste is going, it depends on the new venue that is going to be the new Divi, which we hope to partner with, because that infrastructure physically has changed. It depends on the local rules. It depends on the CDC. But just like we did last night and we're doing tonight, we are capable and we're here to make sure that we are part of the future. Okay.
That's good. So we've seen how disruptive the pandemic has been across the board, all industries, all sectors, all market. How do you think, what opportunities and challenges do you think the Virgin Islands product from a tourism perspective, but more so important, as we try to position St. Croix as a culinary vacation, do you think the pandemic kind of positioned St. Croix in this new direction? Tell us a little bit about what you're thinking is.
Oh, definitely. It has really pushed, especially the U.S. Virgin Islands, out to the forefront. Caribbean Journal did a survey not too long ago, and the U.S. Virgin Islands is the #1 destination that people want to visit once they feel comfortable in traveling, and they do feel comfortable in traveling. The island is full right now of guests, and I really appreciate them coming out and supporting us. I'd like to say thank you to Ashley Burns of Island.com magazine, who is a guest writer that the Department of Tourism has brought in to write about this event. And I don't know how many times he said, this island is wonderful, that he stopped saying it. But a lot of people, like I said, who've come in to support this event, to support us, they're here and we're ready for them. And Taste of St. Croix, it's going to continue. It's going to continue to get bigger and better. And the good thing about island people, no matter what you throw at us, we're ready for it. We're ready for it. And so, like we like to say at the Department of Tourism, at the end of the day, tourism is all of us, and we will continue to promote our home. And with you guys, especially helping us, it's going to always get better. And I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And one of the things, and Colin didn't mention it, one of the reasons we decided to partner with Taste of St. Croix, after building such a great product over 20 years, I said it's now time to create a televised version of the Taste of St. Croix, where it's not just an event, a 1-year event. It's where we're going to tell the story continuously on an ongoing basis throughout the year. So the event will culminate bringing everybody together, but throughout the year we're going to be, the narrative, the message, telling that story to a television platform to talk about St. Croix as a destination and all the wonderful things St. Croix has to offer.
Destination, again, there was a survey done, and 50 Caribbean islands, 3 of the best restaurants were on St. Croix. So they know we're here and they're coming. Absolutely. To enjoy what we enjoy every day.
Well, I want to thank you guys for sharing with the audience what you guys have done, what you've built over 20 years. Kudos, congratulations to the partnership and what you guys are doing. We're the new kids on the block. We want to thank you for the opportunity to partner. Thank you so much, guys, and we look forward.
Before we close out, and I just want to say one thing before we close out. By the way, of course, we have tomorrow's event at the Fred, but it behooves me if I didn't close out today by saying, I said I was a member in the original entity, but I can't go off without saying that Catherine Pugliese and Kelly Odom, who are friends of mine, I was a waiter in 1992 with Catherine. That is how our friendship forged and formed. And in 2000, when we maintained friendship, when Catherine and Kelly came to me, because at the time I was the businessman in promotions and marketing, and said, listen, this is the idea. The rest is history. So I can't go out this interview without saying, thank them.
Also, you have some visiting judges from Austin, Texas.
Yes, and you got to bring them on.
So the judges that from Austin, Texas.
You definitely.
We're not going to talk to the
okay,
good.
Good.
So, but what do you thought of the judging?
Listen, it's amazing, right? Because we didn't want to make the judging format be too complicated this year. Because again, how could you ask restaurant, to really get to, in terms of, you already have to tell them, listen, I'm going to say it in my Crucian accent. Hopefully some of the persons out there can understand. How can you ask restaurant who are going through what we are going through, listen, let's do an event that's a fundraiser, or let's do an event where you and I are making money. So I had to make it as comfortable as possible. So we lessened the categories that we normally judge in, and we made it very simple: presentation and people's choice. And that was, I think, they're like, okay, it's a little easier, and then some other incentives. But I want to say, we made it very simple, and they loved it. And the judges, they didn't take it simple. These guys sat down for hours. I mean, I said, wait, this thing should. The judges, these guys took this judging thing so seriously. So I want to thank them. So I'm happy that.
You just gotta incorporate them into this culture. Was that kind of weird?
No, I gotta thank them because I met them for the first time last night at the event, and I'm like, after about an hour and a half, I said, guys, you guys are still tallying? And they asked me these complicated questions. I'm like, I said, guys, I said, thank you very much, but these are the two categories. They love the food. I mean, they understood because obviously they have a food background. I mean, one of the winners, Rita Shivington, who's a local chef, who, if you're from Austin, Texas, you ain't eating Crucian and Caribbean food that often. They loved her food and they understood, even though they understand the name of the food, they understood the recipes, they understood the taste. So anywhere you go, anybody love good food. So I want to thank them. So when they come up, I'm quite sure they're going to explain and tell you some of the things I'm telling you. But once again, thank you very much.
And we're going to take a break. And this commercial by Tourism, I really like this commercial. It really... something about it is very different. This was what Digby is in it, and I think I saw Frankie in there as well. This commercial, I think that you did an awesome job with it. And so we're going to take a break. We're going to go out with this commercial, but I got to tell you, kudos to this commercial. I really like it a lot. All right, folks. This is the Caribbean Food Network on location live at the Buccaneer Hotel for the 20th anniversary for the Taste of St. Croix. And I just had a wonderful conversation with both one of the founders of the Taste of St. Croix and the representative for the Department of Tourism. I want to thank you guys for being on the program this evening. All right, we'll be right back.
Time. It has a different meaning in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It goes backwards, forwards, it stops. St. Croix is rooted in history. So much of it still remains untouched.
I remember running on these streets as a kid. This shop was right down there. It opened the same year I was born. This is where the original Crucian hook was born. It's the symbol of these islands. And I wanted to have my hands in that very same history. I want to be able to pass it down to my family while still putting a new spin on it.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, we have an amazing culture that developed over time from all over the world.
St. John feels so untouched. Being underwater is like another world. There's no worries, there's no stress. I can just escape. This is my happy place. My passion for scuba diving came at just being fascinated with the water and wanting to be a mermaid. And this is the closest thing I can get to achieving mermaid status. Canadians just love being outdoorsy. We live for adventure, so we love anything hiking, being on the water, diving, snorkeling, and St. John has it all.
It's like some spirit is protecting the island and keeping them raw. The Makujumbi watches over the island. From up there, they keep the evil spirits away. nightlife in St. Thomas is absolutely amazing. There's always something going on. Everyone comes together to dance and catch a vibe. We're always celebrating. We celebrate freedom, culture, the food, the smell, the music. It's always a celebration. The people here are probably the most priceless thing because they keep the culture going. There's so many different influences on these islands. Food from all kind of countries coming together in new dishes. All of us came from somewhere, but all that we call this home. The VI is a new melting pot. This is where the past and the future comes together.
All right, folks, we are back. We are back, and wonderful good evening to you all. And tonight we continue to celebrate 20 years. That's right, folks, 2 decades. You talk about sustainability. You're talking longevity. You're not talking a one-off deal. 20 years, the Taste of St. Croix has been going strong, and we've partnered with the Taste of St. Croix, the Caribbean Food Network, and the Taste of St. Croix partner. Not even the pandemic would stop this show. And so, therefore, we're here tonight at the Buccaneer Hotel. It's a different spin on the Taste of St. Croix. As you know, Taste of St. Croix is usually one day, one evening at the Divi Casino Resort. This year, we're doing it different. We're featuring not just one, but 2 other hotels. Tonight, we're at the Buccaneer, and tomorrow afternoon, we'll be at the Fred Hotel. But I got to tell you, there's a little twist here that's a little different. We got some Texans in the house. I mean, these guys put a total different spin on the whole, culinary, cultural experience, the cruising experience. And when we invited them to be our visiting VIP judge, they were like, to say nothing in Texas is small, everything is big. So these guys said, if we're going to do this, we're going to have to do it in a big way. And so these guys are here with me, and so I wanted to have an opportunity to really just talk about last night. And they're just thrusting themselves into Crucian culture and to experience Crucian cultural food and just judging the whole food experience. And so what I would like to do, I know that you are the chairman, CEO of the company, you are the chief financial officer, and you are the chief growth officer. So I don't know if we want to go like a pecking order, but let me start with the big guy at the other end, okay? Yeah. So Jason, you're on St. Croix. You flew a very long way. You're from Austin, Texas. You're on St. Croix. This must be some real culture shock. Why don't you tell us, what it's been like here for you here on the island of St. Croix?
Yeah, man. This has been a fantastic experience. Having a chance to do this yesterday with 10 of your best restaurants was wonderful. Typically, you'd go into one of these events, you grab a plate, you eat, and you move on. Yesterday, we had to pay attention to every plate, pay attention to every restaurant, talk to the chef, understand what they had going on. Let me tell you, that's the way to see it, and understand the story behind the food.
That's excellent. And so you're here, you're on St. Croix. You're kind of like, checking the scene, looking at the local landscape, see what the place has to offer. You brought your chief financial guy with you, the money guy, right? Because I guess nothing is happening without the money guy, okay? So, Mr. Money Guy, chief financial officer, not only you have to deal with the money, but you got to deal with the product itself. St. Croix is I think you've been to St. Thomas before, but never St. Croix.
All the islands.
All the islands, okay? Talk to us about your visitation, your experience so far.
Well, first off, it's not pearl snaps and cowboy hats. So let's be clear. And by the way, instead of Yaman, it's y'all.
Oh, yeah.
So last night was an amazing experience. By the way, this whole week or the time we've been down here, it's been an amazing experience. I have become accustomed where I'm from in Louisiana. It's Tabasco here. It's a different kind of hot sauce.
You love the Alvin hot sauce.
Let me tell you what, dude. I suffered through it. So let's be perfectly clear. I've come to appreciate it, and it was great, especially the other night when we had it. Is it Dugan's or Duggan's? Duggan's with the lobster. I was trying to soak that lobster in that stuff, and I paid the price. But the food experience here, I love it. I've always loved it all the years I've been down here. The mixture of taste that goes in your mouth, from sweet, savory, salty, hot. I mean, it's just like, wow.
But, I can't believe I'm hearing that word coming out from Texans now. Everything in Texas is big. Everything. I mean, you guys love hot sauce. Hot sauce is a big.
Well, we're crazy in a way because we have the blending of cultures in Texas. You have Louisiana, you have Mexican culture, and then you got this Germanic culture that came from Germany that all blends right where we're at. And it's amazing cuisine that we experience day to day. And it's really not many places in the United States can really say that. And a lot of people come to Austin now to experience what we have to offer. So coming down here and understanding this Caribbean cuisine, which we spent a lot of time the other night enjoying each other's company doing that, it was special, and you educated me on a lot of that, and I appreciate that. So last night was kind of, I'm telling you, man, those tacos that were like the dessert was out of this world last night, out of this world. So anyway, it's been a great experience. We really have had a great time, and we spent way too much money coming down here as a CFO. So I've got my one plug, baby.
So we certainly leave the best, not for laughs, but leave the best in terms of this guy's responsible for the growth, in terms of where the company goes next. And so from a growth perspective, what do you see now that you're here? How do you feel about the Caribbean as a potential destination for a part of your portfolio?
Well, I think the first thing I'd say is, Clint, we're probably going to spend a lot more money coming down here. This has been fantastic. And I think this experience has been unique to us in that you have welcomed us into your home, and you've given us an opportunity to really embed ourselves into culture here, specifically into the food culture, and having an opportunity to do what we did last night, but really to spend the entire week with you and others has been eye-opening in a positive way. And from a matter of potential, I think it's off the charts. I think everybody here would agree with that. And we're looking forward to coming back from a food perspective and an events perspective, and seeing what we can do to participate and continue to elevate.
And so, that was perfect. You summarized it in a great way. And I want to thank, again, our sponsors. Broadband VI was made this possible for the live stream. I also want to thank the University of the Virgin Islands, University Research and Technology Park. Those two entities played a big role in the live streaming of this event. I want to thank you so much for the role you play. But I also want to talk about our other sponsors. The Department of Tourism, title sponsor, the Governor's Office, title sponsor, and of course the Caribbean Food Network. Then of course we have Subway, Team Consultants. I said the RT Park, University of the Virgin RT Park. We have Chef de Cuisine. We have Leeward Islands Management Company, West Indies Company, Bellows International Prestige Wine, Chef de Partie. We have Vire. We have, I believe, Just Right Trucking. We have Virgin Islands Lottery, First Bank, Cummins, VI Consortium, Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, and Tropical Shipping. And again, I want to thank you so much, the Buccaneer, for your hosting us this evening. We're going to go out this evening.